Hello everyone, welcome back. So today we'll be discussing about one of the most hated Flutter packages to exist on this platform. Today we'll be discussing about GetX. Alright, so for those of us who don't know what GetX is, so GetX is like a light Flutter framework that offers you so many features. So the reason why I said it's a light framework is the light Flutter framework is because it's offered so many features. I no longer call it a state management anymore. So I feel like calling it a lightweight Flutter framework kind of like suits it. Some of the features of GetX are state management, a storage system, as well as internalization and utility, and also network packages, and also it also offers you a dependency injection system. Developers have different opinion about this package. I'll tell you, this is one of the well detailed, most documented package I have ever. It has the documentation in several different languages, including English, Vietnamese, Indonesia, Urdu, Chinese, Portuguese, Spanish, Russia, and Polish. And as well, it is also developer friendly. It is well known for its easy syntax. So here we have a simple GetX controller with a variable count assigned to an integer, observable integer data type. And here we have a very short function that increments our count. Here we also have a home class that extends the stateless widget, and here we have our dependency injected, our controller class dependency injected here. And inside of our app bar, we have our title and an OBX widget that returns a text type, clicks, and of our account. So this is how to create a simple GetX controller. Developer has different opinion about this particular package. Some believe it promotes spaghetti codes. Some believe you should not even use it at all. But I think everything can produce a bad result wrong, and this is one of kind of like the skill problem, not kind of like the package or machine problem. So recently I stumbled upon a new solution to tackle this problem. It's called StateMixin. Now I've created a new package, a new Flutter application. Inside of my application I have a directory folder and a model folder. Don't mind these particular folders, these are just random things. Inside of my controller folder resides inside of my model folder. So inside of my controller folder, I have created a person controller. So we are going to be discussing about these four things. First of all, what are mixin? Mixins are functions or creating reusable codes inside of an existing class without having to like inherit, create, or without having to like extend a new class, or it's kind of like a way of bringing new codes or new function into an existing class without having to like edit the class or having to like extend a new class. So I kind of like to think of it as an extension, but instead of targeting a specific data type or a specific widget, we can target um a particular class. So here is an example for mixing. Here I'm going to create my human class, and inside of my class I'll declare different variable of string username and another one of int that holds the user age, and I'll create a constructor to this. And here I can come down here and create a class mail. So this class mail extends a class of human. So this class mail extend the class of human, and you can call your super constructor here as well. So down here we can also come into our class human class and say void. We can create a function of breathe inside of this class, and then we can return debug print something into our console. We can show the word who they breathe into our console. So here I have to import my material package, and there you have it. So to create a mixin, use the keyword mixin to create a mixin, and followed by your mixin name. So here we are going to have a man mixin, and you can specify what particular um class you want to use this mixin on to avoid using it in another classes. Like you want to make it private to other classes, so it's just like an extension whereby you can create an extension on a particular data type. So here also you can use the keyword on to create to select or specify your particular class. So you can specify the human class, and here you have the property to you have the property to the privilege to import or use the data you've created or the variables you've assigned or you've declared inside of your human class. So for example, we can create a new function here that says run, and inside of this run you can debug print running. So here you have it running, and here as well you can return an int get is get size. You can return a size and return the say if age is greater than. So this age is coming from our human class, the age we declared inside of our human class, and you can return it and like something like this, and so you can change this to a bool and over is eligible. You can set this to eligible. So yeah. So to be able to run this man mixin inside of our mail, all you have to do is just use the keyword with. Use the keyword with and call the name of your variable, name of your mixin man, and inside of your man, and here you can create a instance variable of mail, and you can select a mail. You can assign you can give it a name of dummy, and inside of your mail you can instantiate it to mail type, and then you can extend it to a mail type, and then you can give it a random name, and you say the name is going to be dummy, and the age you can set it to 40. So you can also create a void function here as well. So you can I'm just trying to show you I'm just trying to explain to you. So inside of this log function, so this is kind of like we are kind of like mimicking our void main function here. So here you have your dummy. You can use your dummy, and you can say dummy dot is eligible. So you can see final is eligible. I'm not sure if I'm getting this right, but okay. So you can set it to this, and you can also run the void function of you can also run the function of dummy dot run. So here you can see you don't have to like edit this human class to create a new function into it, and you can check the comment section for a code that links to that particular documentation on how mixins work. Okay, so now we've discussed about what a mixin is. So let's take a look at what StateMixin is. So basically, what a StateMixin is just adding new codes or adding new code in new functionalities into baking new functionalities into your existing GetX controller without having to like edit the particular GetX code or controller. So now to create a state mixin or in GetX, all you have to do is create a new controller, and we're going to call this person controller, and you extend a GetX controller. So this is a simple way of creating your GetX controller, but we are going to go extra step and add the keyword with, and we say state mixin. So with this, you are able to emit or assign different state mixin into your controller class. So now what we have to do now is to specify what data type or what state are we trying to, what data type is this particular controller going to be emitting or returning. So here you specify a generic type of list person. So I already have a person class being created inside of this project already. So inside of our person class, we have the name, we have the age, and we also have string emoji. And here we created a random person list as well. So this is what we are going to be returning inside of this controller. So even with the fact we are extending a GetX controller, we are able to use the functions inside of our GetX controller, something like the onReady function. This is a function that fires once the controller is being instantiated or being called. So it's just like your init state function. So here inside of this getReady controller, we are going to run this get users function. So now we come down here and we create this get users function and make it a future void of future void future void sorry future void, and inside of our controller now we are going to talk about this change function. So you can remember inside of your block you are able to call a function of emit, so to emit different states. So this is the equivalent of emitting different states. So let's take a look at how to run this. So here you can call the change function here, and you can see this change function takes in two parameters. First of all, it's going to take in the new state parameter, and next the status parameter as well, where you declare an error RX status. So this RX status is kind of like equivalent of creating like a phrase model or like an enumeration that holds different states, like a loading state, empty state, like error state, and also initial state. But here we have some couple baked in states. So let's take a look at it. So here, since we are just running our function, we are going to be emitting a loading state. So we are going to set this to like null, and here we are calling the status, and we are assigning it to a RX status of loading. So that's it. So inside of this function, we are going to add a try and catch block. So inside of this function, we are trying to like mimic an API call. So we are going to use the await feature dot delay. This is just to mimic an API call. So you can set this duration to anything you prefer. So me, I'm going to set my own to 2 seconds, and now we are going to like set it to emit a new state of our data. So here we've mimicked our API call, and now we can now set in our data. So here I'm going to be passing the people fake data we created inside of our person class. So here is what the fake data looks like. So I'm going to go back here and set the status to RX status of success. So that's pretty much it. And here we can set it to like change the state to emit a state of null and a status of RX status of error. So this error status takes in error message. So here you can pass in your error message, and you can set it to like e.to. So now here we have our state mixing completed, and all we have to do is just to create a dependency injection. So this is how I go about my own particular this is how I create my own particular dependency injection. So inside of my class, I'm going to create a static final instance data of a person controller, and I'm going to call it instance. And inside of this instance, I'm going to assign a dependency injection get.put. I'm pretty sure we are familiar with this particular one. So get.put, and we are going to put our person controller inside. So now we can come outside of this class and say declare a final person controller class that can be used anywhere in our project. So we can set it to person controller instance. I'm not sure why it's not coming up. Okay, so here we have it, and we can remove this, and we can go inside of our home page. And inside of my home page, all I'm doing is just extending a stateless widget that is returning an arbar of title, and also a body of container and some padding and also a column widget. And inside of our column widget, I can call our controller. We can call it our controller person controller dot obx. So this person controller obx is kind of like an equivalent of a consumer widget in our what's it called inside of our riverpod, or a block consumer inside of our block. So what this does is it draws this particular widget once these states are being emitted. So whatever states you are emitting, it draws according to whatever widget you are returning here. So this particular first one takes in the particular data we are returning. So it's going to be a list view. So it's going to be a list of person. So if you check, you can see it's a list of person. So here inside of we can return a list view builder. And inside here we can do context and also index as well. So inside of here you can return a list style, and inside of our list style we can set the leading to take in a circle avatar, and inside of the circle avatar you can take a text, you can return a text, and inside of our text you can say states dot index dot emoji. So we are returning the emoji here. So we can come up here and format this nicely, and inside of here you can say item count, and you can set your item count into your state. So return use a null check here and state dot length, and here you can also add your shrink wrap to true. Okay, so you can also come down here and you can also come down here, format this nicely, and inside of here you can set your title to title text, and you can say state index dot name, and there you have it. So once our controller is being called, after 2 seconds we emit this particular state, or when we make an API call and our data is being returned successfully, we get a 200 or 201 response. So this particular widget is being returned. So here we also have some properties like the loading, unloading, and here you can set the loading widget to a const center widgets child circle lab base indicator dot adaptive. I kind of like this one. Do save the same widget in your what's it called? It's the same widget in your um in your web end. So here we can also specify the data the um the widget we are returning once we have an error. So you call it an onError, and it gives you the argument of error, and you can return a text center text child text, and you can pass in your error message. And don't forget the null check as well. So you can format this nicely. And also don't forget we have the onEmpty as well, and I think that's pretty much it. So because we are not returning on empty error on empty state here, so we'll not be able to test that. So we can save this and give the project a nice run. So now our project is running. So for the first few 2 seconds, you are going to see a loading indicator here, and now we have, after 2 seconds, we have our list style, and to return that a list style that shows our user. I really think this is kind of like a game changer for this particular package. So I think this way you can be able to like avoid or reduce the less what's it called, verbose and spaghetti codes as well. So my thought about this particular functionality is, I don't know, I've checked around and I am not able to get like a way to like listen to this state and perform kind of like a function, the equivalent of like a ref.listen inside of your refer pod and block.listener inside of your block. So I'm unable to do this particular thing. And also again, you can't create a kind of like custom mixing. So this is the only thing you can create on here, but you can extend different type of data here. You can return a list, you can return an enum, you can return a double, you can return anything you can think of here. So you can return anything you can think of here. So another thing I think is going to be a game changer is being able to create our own custom mixing, like using a freeze state class. Sorry, is a freeze class to like create custom states, and then as well being able to like create being able to like listen to your states and be able to react to them. The author of the package is watching. Work on this. Please work on these functionalities. And I think that wraps it up for this particular video. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.